channel. In this channel we provide the in-depth knowledge of different programming languages which differentiate you with others. In our series of Tuesday Saturday interview questions that we are posting on every Tuesday and Saturday, today is Saturday, so we are posting a set of questions which help you to crack C and C++ technical interview. Let's start. Question number 1 is, what is memory leak? When we allocate memory dynamically, so there are two ways to allocate memory. First one is dynamically and second one is static. In static we can allocate memory giving the variable names, but dynamically with the help of malloc, calloc or new operator we are allocating dynamically. One difference is dynamic memory is always referred by a pointer, whereas static memory can be referred by a pointer as well as variable name. Now if we talk about memory leak, it only happens when we allocate memory dynamically. When we allocate memory dynamically but somehow loses the way to reach that memory, this is called memory leak. Means हमने एक memory को allocate किया, one pointer is pointing to a particular location. If somehow we miss the address or somehow the pointer is modified, so then something happens known as memory leak. Let's take an example. Here we are having a function called fun. Int asterisk p is equal to new int. So what we are doing, we are allocating 4 bytes with new operator which is pointed by pointer p. In main function, when we are making a call to fun function, the control will come down to the fun function and it will allocate 4 bytes dynamically with the help of new operator which is pointed by pointer p. Now as the control goes out of this block or after executing the code in the fun function, as the control goes back to the calling function, that is main function, what happens? Memory leak will happen. Why? Because p is what here? P is a local variable of the fun function. As the control goes out of the scope, p variable will die, means p pointer will die. So we are having, so p will die, so p is holding the address of a dynamic memory allocation which is allocated with the help of new int. Then what happens? P will die, so we will not able to access that memory at any cost. So we are having the buildings but no roads to reach there. So this situation is known as memory leak. When control returns from the function, memory gets leaked. Any doubt you can ask me, otherwise we will move further. Second, what is dangling pointer? It is just opposite to the memory leak. In memory leak what happens? We are having the buildings but no way to reach there, but in dangling pointer we will have the roads but at that roads no buildings will be there. Now suppose we allocate a chunk of memory and store its address in a pointer. If this chunk memory is freed and if the pointer continues to point that location, the pointer is said to be dangling pointer. Getting my point? Means अगर डायनेमिकली हमने मेमोरी को एलोकेट किया है और अगर वो पॉइंटर उस लोकेशन को पॉइंट कर रहा है और बाई चांस दूसरे पॉइंटर ने उस एलोकेशन को फ्री कर दिया है, तो ये पॉइंटर जिस लोकेशन पे पॉइंट कर रहा है वहाँ पे तो कोई मेमोरी एलोकेट होगी नहीं. तो दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ डैंगलिंग पॉइंटर. तो डैंगलिंग पॉइंटर एंड मेमोरी लीक इज जस्ट ऑपोजिट. In memory leak we are having the buildings but no way to reach there. In dangling pointer we are having the roads but at the end no buildings are there. Now let's take an example. In main function what we are doing, we are allocating int star p. P is a pointer to an integer. Int star q is equal to new int. 4 bytes will be allocated in a RAM which will be pointed by q. Then p equal to q. Now p will also start pointing to that particular location. Getting my point? Because q holds the address of a memory which is allocated with the help of new. Same thing when I write p equal to q, so p also holds the address of that location where q is pointed. Now when I write delete q, now what is delete? Delete is a keyword which is used to deallocate memory which is allocated with the help of new. Now delete q, what delete q will do? It will release or free the memory which is allocated with a new. Now what happens? This will free the memory and P is a pointer pointing to that location where no memory is there. So now P becomes what? P becomes a dangling pointer. Here Q frees the allocated memory, making P as a dangling pointer. We can see with this example. Suppose now here this is P, here this is Q, and this is dynamic memory allocation as 2000. This holds the 2000. This P is a pointer pointing to this. This is dynamically allocated with new. Then I write P equal to Q. So P will hold the address of Q. This will start pointing to this location. So this location is pointed by two pointers P and Q. Now when I write delete Q, this memory will be freed, and P is again this will be freed. Now P is a pointer pointing to which location? The same location. So we are having the roads to reach there, but no building is existing. So this here Q frees the allocate memory, making P as a P now becomes what? Dangling pointer. Getting my point? So this dangling pointer and memory leak are both opposite situations. Go through this. Any doubt you can ask me in the comment section. Next, is reference to a reference allowed? Answer will be no, because when we try to assign a reference to a reference, listen it very carefully. These are very, very important and technical questions that are asked in the interview. You should be able to give the answer properly. Is reference to a reference allowed? Answer will be no, because when we try to assign a reference to a reference, the new reference start referring to the same variable the first reference is referring to. Common sense. Let's take an example. Int I is a variable of type integer. Int end of j equal to I. What is j here? J is a reference of I, and I is what? I is a referent. Now when I write int end of k equal to j, k is what? K is a reference referring to what? J. J is another reference. So what we are doing? We are trying to create a reference to a reference. Here k is a reference to a reference j. Here k is a reference to a reference j, and both j and k refer to the variable I. What does it mean? It will make no sense. So this reference to a reference is not allowed in C++. Fine. कोई मतलब ही नहीं ना, क्योंकि j किसको रेफर कर रहा है? I को. अब k को हम क्या बोल रहे हैं कि k को रेफर करने के लिए हम किसको बोल रहे हैं? j को. तो j तो ऑलरेडी I को रेफर कर रहा है, तो I को दो रेफरेंस रेफर करने से मतलब क्या है? Getting my point? Here k is a reference to a reference j, and both j and k refer to the variable I. So this is not allowed in C++. Okay, next question. Can we create pointer to a reference? Answer will be again no. Same problem. Int I is a variable of type integer. Int end of p equal to I. What is p here? P is a reference of I. Then when I write int asterisk j is equal to end of p is what? Here if this end of p is used on the left hand side of the assignment operator, so it is acting as a reference variable. But if this end of p is used on the right hand side of the assignment operator, it start working as an address operator. Here j is a pointer to the reference p. What is j? J is a pointer to the reference p, but actually it is pointing to the variable I. Why? Because p and I are the name given to the same location. So actually it is a pointing to the variable I. This is because a reference is automatically dereferenced. This is a basic difference between reference and a pointer. Pointer के लिए हमको dereferencing करना पड़ता है with the help of asterisk sign, whereas reference is automatically dereferenced and access the value. That is end of p internally becomes and asterisk p. Thus in j what gets stored? It is the address of I. तो ultimately है वही चीज है. तो एक ही चीज को घुमा फिरा के करने के लिए उन्होंने बोला ये सब हम अलाउड नहीं करेंगे. दैट इज वाई वी कैन नॉट क्रिएट अ पॉइंटर टू अ रेफरेंस. फाइन. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. व्हाट आर द एडवांटेजेस ऑफ सी इन एंड सी आउट over printf and scanf? This is again a very common question that usually asked in the interview. What are the advantages of cout and cin over printf and scanf? Answer will be, with cin and cout we are not required to give format specifier. It will help out. Error होने के chances कम रहेंगे. You can directly write cout less than a, less than b, and cin greater than a and greater than b. So we are not specifying any format specifier with the cin and cout. And another advantage that cin and cout is having, cin and cout being object. What is cin and cout? Cin is an object of istream underscore with assigned class, whereas cout is an object of ostream underscore with assigned class. These are the objects. Cin and cout being object, we can use operator overloading to make them work even with the user defined data type. It's a big advantage that cin and cout is having. Now suppose in C, if we talk about, we are creating structure. What are structures? Structures are user defined data type. After declaring the structure, we are creating structure variable struct s. Now is it a way to display s using printf, or is it a way to scan s using scanf? It is not possible. But in C++, C++ supports operator overloading. With the help of operator overloading, we can overload less than and greater than operator, and we will make, or we will teach the compiler how to scan and print the user defined data type. Okay, this is our fifth question. If any doubt, you can ask me. I will try to give reply in 24 hours. I think this much is enough for today. We will meet in our next class on Tuesday. Thank you. Bye.